We picked up our anchor at about 7 o'clock, and we have left the Tenants Harbor area, and we are headed west across Muscongus Bay. I'm not quite sure what the geography is called on the other side. So I've just taken a moment to duck into the cabin here to talk to you, because it's already kind of windy out there, and it is supposed to be, I think it was 10 to 15, gust to 20 again, from the north. So it should be pretty close to a beam reach, and it's not too bad at the moment. So hopefully we'll make good time across Muscongus Bay. I forget how far. I think it's like 15 miles. And the wind is supposed to turn this afternoon to southwest, which would not be favorable. And it is supposed to be strong tonight, so we're going to look for a good harbor for that. Hopefully I've taken some pretty pictures so far, and I'll endeavor to continue. it's approaching 1 o'clock, and we are in Johns Bay, which is just west of Muscongus Bay. So the forecast was for the wind to shift from north to southwest at some point. Now it never really was north. It was northwest, but we that was saleable. North would have been a little more pleasant. And a little before noon, I think, the wind did die. You know, sometimes in order to do a shift, the wind will die and then come back from the other direction. Sometimes it'll clock around. This time it died, so we had to motor for a while to get around Pemaquid. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right. We'll look at the chart later after we anchor. So anyway, so we motored until we got to Pemaquid Point, and then the wind did come back from the southwest, and we raised sails, you know, but it's light, it's coming and going some, but we're doing decent, and it's early in the day, so we thought for a change of pace, I thought we'd have this pleasant sail up John Bay. So that's what's going on. So it's still sunny. It's warming up a little. It has been cool. You know, it is Maine, but it's not going to hit 70 all week. So that's what's going on. We'll talk to you later after we anchor, probably. So we dropped anchor in Poorhouse Cove, which is off Johns River, which is kind of really not a river, an extension of the northern end of Johns Bay, just west of Muscongus Bay, at about 2 o'clock. After a lovely sail up Johns Bay and Johns River, almost straight downwind, wing on wing, doing about 4 knots. It was starting to get stronger as we got to the end, and I was a little concerned about, you know, kind of getting out over my skis, so to speak. But it didn't continue to build, and so we were okay. And so when we got to the entrance to Poorhouse Cove, I reefed the foresail, and then started the motor and turned around into the wind. I tried doing that, you know, I've gotten better at being able to reef the main without resorting to using the engine, but this time the wind was too strong. I couldn't come around into the wind for some reason. I don't know. So I had to use the engine to put it into the wind and reefed the main, and then motored in, did a little exploring. There's not a lot of room in here. It's going to be too windy for me to narrate a look around the harbor, but I'll do it anyway in this place of music, so you can at least see what it is. So it's a very nice harbor. There's not I think I already said, not a lot of room. There's quite a few mooring balls there. I don't think there's a single lobster pot in it. But you can see a few houses, some docks, but very pleasant, and it's giving me good protection from the southwest breezes. Well, I think that's all. It's been another lovely day. We're due for some cloudy weather and rain for the rest of the week, I think. And also, the forecast for wind direction has been shifting. Now, I wouldn't have come this far west if there had been forecast for east winds for the rest of the week. And there weren't forecast for east winds for the rest of the week until this afternoon. But not starting for what's today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday will be east winds. So we did have some plans to explore some of Muscongus Bay tomorrow, and then make our way back on Monday and Tuesday. But given that the only west winds we're going to have are going to be tomorrow, we're probably going to go straight back to the Tenants Harbor area where we were last night. So anyway, we'll see how things unfold. Obviously, forecasts are not cast in stone. All right, we'll do the look around, and we'll, of course, take a look at the chart. So this is Tenants Harbor, and this is Long Cove, and we were up at the north end of Long Cove. And just for reference, Rockland is way off this way. So we came out. We had been thinking we'd come out this way, which might have been, was certainly doable. But last night, when I tried to talk to my wife, Kim, as I do every afternoon, the cell signal was not strong enough to support a phone call. I was able to get data, so email and that kind of thing. But the phone call would only last a few seconds and then drop. And so I wanted to see if I had been down here closer to the town, whether the cell signal would have been better. And I found that it would not. The same one bar. So, anyway, that's why we came back down that way, and then we came out and down. Southeast. Now, the winds were forecast to be out of the north, but in fact, they were northwest pretty much all day. And again, southwest. And then across here, and I could have come down here, but I didn't want to go that far south because then I'd be on a different tack going through here. So and there wasn't really room to tack back and forth to get through here against the northwest winds. So I motored through this little area and then continued down and off the chart. Let's see. Oh, yes. So again, motored through here and then set sails again and came down and through this little gap between a shoal and an actual island. That was a pretty narrow spot, but not too tricky. And then continued down to Pemaquid Point, where I got a shot of a lighthouse there. Now, the winds had been strong, and I was concerned, that they might get stronger based on recent weather. But in fact, out here somewhere, the wind died altogether. And as I think I mentioned before, the winds were supposed to shift to southwest. And so I wasn't all that surprised that they died. And when I got down about to this buoy, they came back and they were out of the southwest. So I once again set sails and turned around this buoy and went up into John's Bay. So again, here's Pemaquid Point. And we came up Johns Bay. Again, as I said, downwind and up and up and into Poorhouse Cove. So that was Poorhouse Cove. Very nice, as I hope you saw. Well, I think that's all for today. So the big question is, what's the weather going to do? And we'll just have to wait and see what the forecast says. And then what it actually does, as opposed to what the forecast says. So, more tomorrow.